This is Mike Franklin, the property tax guy, and today we're going to talk about the town board meeting in the town of Urbana in Steuben County, down at the southern end of Cayuga Lake. It's a pretty interesting scenario regarding the Freedom of Information Law and the outcome of a lawsuit that pertained to this town evading New York State FOIL, and they lost the case. They had to pay $9,000 in attorney's fees. Apparently, they had to pay their own attorney about $6,000, but apparently more. You'll hear it in the dialogue. This is kind of a microcosm of what goes down in these small towns, and the fiefdoms that they have going on, and their mob mentality, and their disdain for the public, and just their arrogant attitudes, and that they use their attorney that's paid for with taxpayer money to abuse taxpayers, which is exactly what they were suggesting. They were suggesting they were going to crush the bug, which apparently is me. And they can use their attorney, but when they're on the wrong side of the law, that bug will, retaliate. The bug that you attempt to crush will eat you if you don't abide by the law. And the law is clear when it comes to New York State FOIL. Public Officers Law 89-4 CII indicates that if the petitioner substantially prevails and there's no statutory basis for the town's denial of the FOIL request, attorney's fees are mandatory. And they're going to maybe learn from that and see how it affects their behavior, but their attitude in this meeting is quite obstinate towards the law. So let's just hear what they have to say, and you can judge for yourself. And I'll interject here and there to try to correct some of the just the false information. These people are seriously misinformed, and I'm going to suggest that perhaps the reason that this town board is behaving the way they are is because I believe their assessor lied to them about this, the fulfillment of this FOIL request. But I'll comment that as we go. So let's hear what he has to say. This is the town supervisor for the town of Urbana.
Actually, before you do that, on the new sheet, you have approval made of FOIL, just so she...
At right is the town clerk. I believe her name is Deanna. She says that she made a mistake, in regarding the FOIL request. And the thing is, if you make a mistake, that's fine. As soon as the petitioner, my client, filed the lawsuit, they should have recognized that mistake and they should have fixed it, and they should have just provided the data. But instead, they had a 8-month-long lawsuit, over 15 minutes worth of work.
They can pay it.
So that wasn't in the abstract, was it?
No.
Were the attorney fees on our end from the prior month, that wasn't part of the fuller one either?
So what they're doing is they're discussing, they're about to vote on whether or not to approve the settlement of $9,000 in attorney's fees. So that's what they're talking about here.
It should be with
Because there's
18,000.
18,000 in attorney's fees.
Yeah,
we'll have to look at that.
Including fuller?
I believe so. Last month, let me see.
So probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, because some of it would be
Fuller
this
just
month.
finished. Yeah, last
Oh
week,
yeah,
right?
this month.
So it would be this month.
Yeah.
That was the number that he gave me in the conversation through the end of March. The 4,000.
Well, you mean for fuller? Well, I'll let Dave discuss that.
Thanks, I didn't know what it was. I mean, I know what's going on, but I didn't know what the...
Well, I've never heard a final number.
Yeah.
9,000.
Yeah, that was on their side. As far
Oh,
as our
for their
attorneys,
thing,
it
right.
was somewhere between 5 and 6, right?
Mm,
What he was
Probably
estimating.
more than that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to
But
discuss?
after thinking about that, when Rich contacted us, I really wish we had a meeting to discuss
Well, and
it.
that's something, Dave wants to do a roll call vote, and I understand, I mean, we.
I
that allows
only,
us
because
to
I
pay it.
really
If we
wish
don't
I had
pay it,
said
it can
no.
go.
I just want to introduce the female talking in this instance. So she's on the town board. Her name is Mary Farmer. And Mary Farmer is the city clerk for the city of Corning. And well, anyway, pay special attention to her behavior.
Go back to rears and we can start over, right?
Or get uglier.
Increase.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, if we don't.
I just wish we
not
had
pay it
fought it.
tonight,
I had a conversation
This could get
before I
real
went to
I know.
South Carolina with Rich and said that he needed to get with the judge, extend till at least the end of the week so we could sit down and talk about it. The
Yeah.
report I got was that he was having a difficult time with the judge,
right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't allow
It
it.
would,
wouldn't
yeah.
allow it.
Didn't give him any time.
So I said, I'll give you my vote right now, Rich. I said, yeah, no, hell no.
Well, that was my vote until.
So-
Me too, and then, yeah,
I was
and now I wish
So
that,
each one of us, like, Emery called Chris, I called Mary, Mary called you, I think.
Yeah,
And
we
then I called Mary back, then I called Emery back. I never talked to Chris. Did you ever talk to Mary?
no,
Okay, so again, we did it the proper way. Three of us didn't talk on the phone at one time, which means we didn't have a meeting, but we basically made a decision without a meeting.
and
That
is
cost
it
the town
legal,
$15,000.
and is it legal though that we can just
That's what
vote?
I'm wondering.
in a-
I mean,
in
it
an
must be
email?
because the lawyer told us to do it.
My take on it, and that's one of the reasons I had that, was part of the executive session, is that I had my town phone. I was with my granddaughter. I was away from my phone for 4 hours. And the last comment was, I don't have to return your message because we had 4 votes, very majority is decided. So I never had a secondary vote because my vote still stands.
But there was a time constraint at midnight on Friday.
Well, I signed
Yeah.
paperwork the next day.
And I was here Thursday.
So
like
that was Tuesday when we did
Tuesday.
the decision. Wednesday, I printed the paperwork with Tammy and signed it as deputy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she submitted it Wednesday, which means he submitted it Thursday. I assume by the time he got it, it was submitted to the court on Thursday.
I think the judge is
Well,
questionable.
Mary Farmer, the city clerk for the city of Corning, says the judge that handled this case was questionable.
but that's in the judge's hands. Really, our vote at this point is just put it on record because
Yeah,
we can't change it.
exactly.
But that was one reason why I wanted him here tonight, was to not only discuss that, but to discuss 2 other potential litigations that are going on right now so that we don't end up in the same situation. again.
Exactly.
But Dave, do you want to discuss what this is about?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, and Mary, you can give some input because you have this. Michael Franklin has a business that signed this agreement,
Well, so,
and they plays
Who's
this.
Michael?
He's a realtor.
He's a real estate agent.
okay,
Yeah, first of all, I'm not a real estate. I'm not a realtor. I'm a licensed New York State real estate broker. There's a difference. Mary Farmer is ignorant to that difference, but she's also ignorant to FOIL. And she says that the judge is questionable, yet she knows nothing about New York State FOIL. So she's making comments that are off the cuff of things she knows nothing about.
that's not the attorney's
So
office.
he uses an attorney because he has to. And this attorney, they have a law firm in Rochester that they.
He says I use an attorney because I have to. Well, number one, it wasn't my attorney, and I didn't initiate the lawsuit, although my name was on it because I was the party that submitted the FOIL request. So there, but the fact of the matter is, no, I don't need an attorney to pursue a FOIL action in Article 78 in Supreme Court. I can do it pro se. I don't need an attorney to win a case like this.
Chose to use the lady that was in Albany. What My understanding is their rate is $450 an hour, which would include travel. I just thought that this is not.
We got railroaded, but at the end of the day, we had to abide by what the attorney felt like the best decision was.
He says that they got railroaded. A Freedom of Information law request was submitted, and they didn't respond to it at all. They violated New York state law. They did not get railroaded, and the judge is not questionable because the judge never even made a decision on this case. So I don't know how the judge is questionable.
And he didn't feel that going to court.
You know, he talked to y'all. I talked to him on Wednesday, and that was the last call I had with him. I actually got a text message.
I don't go to court, but then ultimately phone calls after that made me change my mind.
But there's a significant difference in the 9,000 versus.
Potential
30,
40,
yeah.
well, 35 plus his fee would go up to 10.
They're legal.
So we went from paying 15,000 roughly is what we think we're gonna pay now versus we could have paid up to 45,000 if we went to court and lost. If we went to court and won, we still would have owed him about 10, but we wouldn't have owed Fuller's attorneys any.
We'd probably owe him more than 10, because if we were already at.
What does he bill, $225 an hour?
Mhm.
Okay, and he has to travel and go to the court and, prepare and everything else, but even if he's at 10 or 12, yeah, so I think we made a better decision.
I say
based on the
we
fact
did what we did and
if
we
he felt like
pay
he
them,
couldn't
but
win, why would we send him in there to try to win? But my question is, do you want to just do a brief overview of what this is regarding to, for the public and for us as a board to discuss it, or do you want to just do an open vote?
I think it should be discussed openly.
Well, my understanding is that they requested the FOIL. As far as I know, they made an issue that they didn't receive the FOIL in time. And when the FOIL came about, it turned out all of the things that they wanted done, Cherokee had already done.
If Cherokee had already done these things, there would be an email trail and she could prove that she had done it, but she didn't do it. And it appears as though she lied to them about doing it, which necessitated this lawsuit.
Well, and this Michael Franklin this is what he does.
This is what he does.
Foils.
So you've had how many foils and cornings?
Oh,
Over
it's
100?
endless.
On average,
It's
one a
endless.
day?
Mary Farmer is the city clerk for the city of Corning, and she's discussing city business in the town of Urbana on YouTube. She says it's endless. He says that I filed over 100 FOIL requests, and she's encouraging that perception. I foiled exactly one FOIL request for the one client I had in Corning to get the comparable sales report, comparable assessment report, the cost valuation report for that property. Exactly what I asked this town for the previous year that they didn't refuse to provide. Mary Farmer, apparently in collusion with the Corning assessor, obstructed that case. So not only is she, causing issues in Urbana and potentially costing them $50,000 over things that she knows nothing about, she's trying to expose the city of Corning to liability in these regards. 89.4 CII calls for mandatory attorney's fees if you don't provide the data. So what she's alluding to, what's endless, is that she denied my request. And so then I appealed it. And then they had to get their attorney involved. Their attorney denied me. And then I had to educate their attorney on the law. And then their attorney ordered the assessor to get to it and generate the data that's required to be provided by law. And it was one FOIL request, but it was numerous emails because they refused to be compliant with the law, which is exactly what transpired in Urbana the previous year, except that they didn't respond at all. Even after the lawsuit, to this date, I do not have the data that I requested. But they demonstrated guilt by paying $9,000. And now they're saying that they paid their own attorney at least $6,000, and then I heard $7,000. So at this point, they spent at least $16,000. So their assessor can evade spending 15 minutes to get me that data that I'm entitled to by law. Does that make any business sense? And Mike Franklin is a bad guy for requesting data that he's entitled to by law. These people are nuts. But I'm guessing that they got false information from their assessor. Their assessor lied to them, and that's why they have no idea what they're talking about. And also, Mary Farmer doesn't know anything about FOIL. She doesn't know anything about assessments, and she's trying to expose the city of Corning to legal liability about things she knows nothing about. And she shouldn't be talking about Corning business on YouTube.
Oh, this last one I must have had, I mean, I have to print it out and keep the copies for back. It's like this much of communication with him.
Right. So this.
On one
particular
property,
person-
this is what he does.
Personally, I
And so
think
he's doing this around the entire state just to.
there's complaints with the
lawsuits.
assessors.
Yeah.
Bureau and stuff. I really felt it.
That's exactly right. I do this all over the state. I've participated in SCAR cases in 42 counties so far, all over upstate New York. And I run into the same kind of obstructionism rather regularly because of the ignorance of these people. But yes, I advocate for taxpayers. I protect taxpayers from bureaucratic abuse like this. Lying assessors, evading the law, and thinking that they can do whatever they darn well please. Their entire objective is, in my opinion, is to do as little work and still get paid. And that's really what this is all about. It's laziness. It's laziness, complete lack of transparency.
For sure. And that was my opinion when I left.
I felt that way too until the attorney told me he didn't think he could.
So,
Less than a 50% chance of winning. So there goes 15,000 to 45,000. So that $30,000 swing wasn't worth the risk at less than 50%.
Obviously, if this guy's doing this all over the state, he's getting away with it, he must be doing something wrong. Whether we like it,
Right.
agree with it or not,
He's
he's
trouble.
getting away with it. So, you want to battle something?
I'm not getting away with anything. I'm requiring the municipalities to comply with the law.
But it's not
We're
just,
at 50%.
I mean, can't we
him,
just,
though. It's the Fullers who took us to court and who hired an attorney out of Albany at $450 an hour to stick it to the town. And
They did not stick it to the town. The town was unresponsive and did not comply with the law. They had no other choice. They certainly didn't want to cost the taxpayers money. But when people behave like this, they had no other choice.
and who
so
won't
if
let
you guys
us on the
wanna go
property
do a
to
guinea
properly
pig, let's go do
measure
it on the Fullers property.
their house?
They just cost the taxpayers $15,000 and it may not stop. I hear they're doing it in Pauley right now. So it's gonna just.
I mean, I think we
and the state
can
of New York
go ahead and
is allowed.
approve this since we've already approved it, but on the record to say like, I wish we had fought it. Really do.
Mary, you just said something.
Mary Farmer thinks that she wishes they should have fought it, so that the municipality has to pay $50,000, when she knows absolutely nothing about it. And as far as their attorney's concerned, he bilked them for like $6,000-7,000 over nothing. He should have told them, just give them the data. But that doesn't earn him any billable hours. So he strings them along, fighting this nonsense for 8 months. You're required to provide the data. Provide the data. As soon as they were served with the papers, they should have said, oh, we made a mistake. Let's give them the data. But that's not what they do. They want to squish the bug.
A little bit. They won't let us on their property.
Yeah, isn't that what I read in all of this legal paperwork, is that we wanted to measure the house that was supposedly a mansion, but
You've got no business going on property owners' properties for this kind of thing. Invading people's privacy for your cost accounting purposes this is not North Korea. Okay? You're not entitled to go on people's properties without their permission. And you better get it in writing. And I would advise anybody out there with this kind of an issue with municipalities that behave like this, get a no trespassing signs that revoke their implied license to enter the property. And if they enter the property past a sign like that, that's revoked their implied license, it's my understanding that was trespass with warning, which is a crime, because the sign gave them warning that their implied license to enter the property was revoked. And so if they enter the property, they are trespassing with warning, which is a crime.
Now, it's
Well,
not
when
mentioned.
I met him,
It's a contemporary.
I told him the only thing that I could offer him is to have a code officer go down there and they could hold the tape on the other end and measure everything to verify it. The only verification on all of the stuff has been done by their engineer who has stamped the plans on the house.
So in lieu of what Mary just said, it could be, the numbers they're giving us could be false.
Although he's putting his reputation on the
Yeah,
line,
so
the engineer.
The engineer
But
provided
still-
as built.
House.
I don't know how they could be lowered anything considering they have, how many houses on that property? 4 now?
No, they just have the two houses. There's like a guest house and then there.
So I don't know, you know. There's a lot.
I don't know, but
there's
at
a lot
least
of
on the
ifs.
record, I want to just say, wish we had fought it. Because
Mary Farmer wants to put on the record that she wishes we should have fought it. You didn't have a 50-50 chance of winning this case. You had a 0% chance of winning this case.
I don't think it's going to stop.
Yeah, squash the bug. If you don't squash the bug,
I guess
there's more
we have to
bugs.
consider that if it,
Yeah, you got to squash the bug. And she's absolutely right. It will not stop. So long as you continue to be in non-compliance with New York State FOIL, I will sue you. So you better dot your I's and cross your T's when you get a FOIL request from me. You better fulfill it in full. Okay? If you don't, I'll appeal it. And then if you still deny it, then I'm going to sue you. And I'm going to win, and you're going to be paying, $9,000. I think you got away lucky.
if we get another lawsuit.
That's the way I feel about it.
But
How,
I think the difference between the 9,000 and the 45,000 is significant enough to say, we cut our losses, let's move on.
Well, it'll be interesting to find out what the total is when it
I think it's closer to
Riches
15.
comes
Yeah,
in. It may be
Riches
higher than that. Who knows?
Yeah, but it's still,
I think,
Huh?
15 is a lot better than 40.
Do you think it's going to be higher? Okay.
that was my basis,
Yeah.
is just the unknown.
Yeah.
Why take a chance?
What did you?
I know.
Spend $35,000.
I get it.
Yeah, I figured, I agree with Emily. It was like,
Yeah.
when you're saying 10,000 compared to possibly 45,000, when your attorney is saying, I don't think I can win this.
Right.
That's why I changed my vote.
I mean, it's kind
Me
of.
too.
You have to go, I'm not an attorney. I mean, I didn't stay at the Holiday Inn Express last night. So, I didn't even play one on TV, so I don't, like I say, I've gotta go by what our attorney says.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
That's-
All right, so do you want to do a roll call vote?
I think we should.
Well, I have to say yes because I voted yes
I
already.
think we have to vote that
Yes.
way. So what is your roll call vote? What's the question?
Mary?
Well, no, actually, I want you to word it so I know how to answer it properly.
Okay. All right, and we're gonna have a roll call vote based on the information that the attorney gave the board members independently. Do you wish to approve the settlement in the Fuller suit regarding, their appraisal and their FOIL request? Mary?
Yes, because I already
Andy
did.
Farmer? Henry Cummings?
Yes.
Dave Lupino? Yep. I'm a no.
Okay. That way it's on record.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we'll get back to the department report.
So there you have it. They want to fight it, but they just voted to pay the $9,000, which was a good move because it would have cost them probably $50,000, and they would have been, they would have lost anyway. But you can see the They don't even know what the lawsuit is about, but they have opinions about things, and they tend to be false. So they got real problems in that town. I want to show you. Let me see here. I'm going to show you the. This is the response from the Corning attorney. Please be advised that the City of Corning clerk received your second FOIL request dated on the 26th of May, seeking the comparable assessment report for the subject property. Following denial of your April 26th appeal, the City Assessor's Office subsequently worked with New York State RPS personnel and was able to generate the enclosed report. Praise be and hallelujah. As the report now exists as a municipal record, the city is providing it in response to your May 14, 2026 FOIL response. So the hundreds of FOIL requests that Mary Farmer suggested in YouTube that I made turned out to be one, and she obstructed providing the data, and I was able to appeal, and their attorney came to their senses before they got sued, and it cost them somewhere between $10,000 and $50,000, because the assessor is being ridiculous. Now, let me show you why the assessor obstructed my request. Let me see here. Where is it? Right here. So this is what they sent me. This is what I requested in both cases, both in Urbana and the City of Corning. So as you'll see, the subject property is at the bottom left says 2026 total assessed value 410. Comparable number 1, 150. Comparable number 2, 236,900. Number 3, 221,450. Number 4, 257,500. Number 5, 257,500. So you can see why the assessor doesn't want me to have this report, because it supports my agenda that my client's property is unequally assessed. The comparable properties are assessed for significantly less than my client's property, and she didn't want me to have that hard data because it means she's going to lose in a small claims assessment review. But she delayed it, so I didn't have it for bar. So she emasculated the City of Corning Board of Assessment Review because they couldn't have this data to make a proper decision. So she infringed upon my client's constitutional right to an assessment appeal option. Constitutional rights are important when it comes to property ownership, because if you don't pay your taxes, they will remove you from the property with the sheriff at gunpoint if necessary. That's why we have constitutional protections. And so it's called due process. And she was infringing upon my client's due process by evading the New York State FOIL and keeping me from having this data that proves that my client is over-assessed. And that's what the town of Urbana was doing. So I think that the town of Urbana assessor lied to the town board, and then they proceeded as if it was true, and they didn't know what they were talking about. In particular, Mary Farmer. Mary, I submitted one FOIL request to get data for my client for his appeal option. Is there something wrong with making a FOIL request? Is there anything wrong with me getting data I'm entitled to by law? Mary Farmer? Mary Farmer, should you be discussing the City of Corning business on YouTube in another forum? So I'm questioning whether or not Mary Farmer should be employed as the city clerk. She doesn't know anything about FOIL, and she certainly doesn't know anything about assessment, and she seems to have moral fiber issues. And her behavior in this town board meeting was apprehensible. She has issues with the truth. This is Mike Franklin, the property tax guy.